Kamala Harris is definitely not going to be the Democrat nominee for the next election. That I do know, actually. I mean, you hear these clips, and I'm sorry, even Joe Biden on his worst day manages to be more relatable and compelling than Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris, Buck. I listened to her interview with CNN. She had multiple days to get ready for an interview on Roe v. Wade. And every single time Kamala Harris talks, I feel like she is the kid who has to get to 500 words in a paper and only has about 100 words of an opinion. Here is Kamala Harris letting you know that she is the daughter of a woman and the granddaughter of a woman. This is important because, well, all of you are too, but, well, she's the vice president. Just listen.
When you think about it, in terms of what that means, in terms of democratic principles, in terms of the ideals upon which we were founded about liberty, about freedom, I thought about it as, a parent. We have 2 children who are in their 20s, a son and a daughter. I thought about it as a godparent of teenagers. I thought of it as an aunt of preschool children.
And a woman yourself.
And a woman myself. And the daughter of a woman. And a granddaughter of a woman.
Well, Clay, let me just say, as the son of a father and the grandson of a grandfather and the great-grandson of a great-grandfather, I mean, we could do this all day.
This is unbelievable.
Kamala Harris is definitely not going to be the Democrat nominee for the next election. That I do know, actually. I mean, you hear these clips, and I'm sorry, even Joe Biden on his worst day manages to be more relatable and compelling than Kamala Harris.
She is the full fruition of diversity and inclusion when diversity and inclusion is the goal as opposed to giving an opportunity to everyone, right? And I think this is an important distinction because a lot of people miss it. Giving people opportunity is important, regardless of what their background is. But giving people jobs just because of their identity ends up with Kamala Harris. She is, I mean, I know people ripped Dan Quayle to the high heavens back in the 1980s when he was the vice president for George Bush Sr., but I got to be honest with you, Buck. I can't think of a more empty suit politician in any of our lives than Kamala Harris. She can't even be trusted to speak for 30 seconds without making herself look like an imbecile.
It really does feel like for any of you, and I had to go through a fair amount of this, both at the CIA and then at the NYPD. And, Clay, I don't, did I mention on the show, I have been told recently by friends who have left the CIA, which you would think, although look what's going on with the military, which is even more.
We played that awful Navy clip of the pronoun
the
usage.
CIA and the intelligence community are they have this reputation. Now, a lot of people know Deep State and the clowns that have come out and signed the letter about the Russian. Unfortunately, the brand has taken quite a beating in the last few years. We're not looking for Bin Laden anymore, so people are like, what exactly are you guys doing? But the wokeness is all over the intelligence community now. I mean the same kind of mentality you have with, Gender and Pronoun Awareness Day and all this stuff. We shouldn't be focusing federal resources on this, but of course we are. And this is resulting I think in part in why military right now is having, news story just yesterday, huge problems in enlistment and recruitment issues. Huge problems in getting and keeping people across all the armed services right now. Well, because people don't really want to sign up for something that they think is meant to be about service and being the best. And let's be honest, being badasses, which is what our military, they're there to protect us and to defeat anyone else. Instead, what they're getting a lot of now from the diversity and inclusion cadre is long lectures about inclusivity and using the proper pronoun. In a war zone, I can tell you, nobody cares about pronouns.
Yeah. Nobody cares about pronouns who has a functional brain now, in our opinion. But it is unfortunate if you're 16 or 17 or 18 years old and you're looking for life direction, Do you want to go to a woke military? No. Look, you want to go get yourself into elite physical shape and train to kick the crap out of people. I mean, look, let's be honest. There are a lot of dudes and women who want to do that. That has a great deal of appeal to them. This idea that you're going to sit around and make sure that your pronouns are correct is a recipe for disaster for our military.
And what I was going to say is, even when you're in the federal government, when you're in local government service, a place like the Intelligence Division of the NYPD, where I was, you have to sit through these lectures, and everyone's sitting there going, "Why are you wasting my time with this crap?" Kamala's the person who gives you those lectures about diversity and inclusion. Kamala's the person who it's all boilerplate. It's all sort of just this corporate leftist commissar doublespeak. It's crazy.
The person who has the most power in many companies right now is the person in charge of diversity and inclusion. Because whatever they say, if you question it, you're questioning diversity and inclusion because they become the voice for it. And this is emblematic. I mean, look, Democrats didn't like Kamala Harris. She was polling less than 1%. She dropped out before any votes were actually cast. And then Joe Biden, old white guy, actually picked the person no Democrats liked, who called him a racist as his vice presidential candidate.
It is going to be fascinating to watch. I believe I think it's a year out. I have to check the schedule of when the decisions. Supreme Court's going to outlaw affirmative action, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's this fall. Yeah.
This fall.
Supreme Court's going to outlaw affirmative action.
Yes.
And that's going to have a lot of implications for universities, because we should open up the floodgates to lawsuits, and everybody should. I have a whole a kind of Operation Chaos in mind for this, but we'll have to wait until
it'll be
we get
6-3. Even John Roberts is going to agree to this opinion that basically affirmative action in schooling has to go away. And they were close 20 years ago, and now they're going to officially do it. And the Biden administration, you look at his cabinet, which is the most incompetent cabinet, I believe, in modern American history. And basically all he did was checkmark to make sure that every different group was represented in that cabinet, not based on qualification or merit, but entirely based on identity. And Kamala Harris is the leader of that brigade.